the United States Supreme Court ruled that Trump must facilitate the return of Garcia from the El Salvadorian prison. But as we all know, man, Trump gonna do what he gonna do. They had a court proceeding yesterday to get an update on what he's doing to facilitate it. And guess what? Trump ain't doing nothing as of right now to facilitate it. Chipmunk said, isn't it crazy that before everyone was supporting Trump, but now he's hated all over? I wonder why that happened. Man, I can't answer why that's happening, but I mean specifically, but all you got to do is look at everything that's going on, the things that he's doing, you know, rounding up American citizens. I ain't even gonna say rounding up people, man, running the country like an oligarchy. So Chipmunk, that's probably what it is. It's his actions. It ain't just that people hating him for no reason. But what I'm talking about today, man, is President Trump was told by the United States Supreme Court to facilitate the return of Garcia from the El Salvadorian prison back to the United States. But this is the thing. See, they wasn't specific. Now, Trump just had the El Salvadorian president over here the other day in America. He could have told that man easily, listen, man, we made a mistake. Can we work on bringing that guy back? But Trump ain't thinking about doing it because it's bigoted behavior. I say racism. People say, well, he's not racist. I disagree with that. I got many examples. And for those who ask, well, how is he racist? Look at my old videos. You go through well, a lot of, Kelly said El Salvador president said he was smuggling terrorists back into the country. Okay. Gloria said Trump is Sigma. Darren said, hey, how are you? I'm good. Welcome to the chat. Is it Jag? Tariff is chaos. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Hey, Chipmunk, he didn't say he was going to do it like this, though. Chipmunk said, but didn't he tell Americans that what he was going to do when he was campaigning? Actually, he did a lot of lying. One of the main things he lied to y'all about was that on day one, I'm going to bring these prices down. I'm the man of the deal. If Trump the man of the deal, bring that man back home to his family. Show that you the man of the deal on that. Help somebody out. Help a minority out. Somebody that you think is beneath you. Because that's how they think in the White House. That's why J.D. Vance was so comfortable on national TV doing an interview on Fox News calling Chinese people peasants. Because really they think they're superior. And they look down on everybody. I don't care who you are, Mexican, Cuban, black. Trump and his administration look down on everybody. That's why the only black in his administration is over the housing projects, over HUD. Kelly says equal power. Oh, hey, my man, you going? Let me get rid of this dude. Let me remove this dude while we at it. All right, man. Peace out. It must ain't. Yeah, he gone. Peace out, man. Hey, Kelly, it's not a card, man. The real is the real. That's why Trump fired the black general and put all white folks in there. He got Marco Rubio and the other dude. But the black dude is over the housing projects, man. Just be real. For one time in your lives, be real with yourselves. Ben Carson was a neurosurgeon on his last campaign. You know what job he gave Ben Carson? He put him over HUD, over the housing projects, because that's Trump mentality. That's why he said, I'm going to put the best minds, the best of the best. For Trump, when he's saying the best of the best, Trump is meaning, I'm going to put all white people in there. But we see how that's working with his administration, man. They can't even maintain top secrets without leaking it to a journalist. Al Habaz, thanks for telling that, Kelly, but I got him out of there. Thank you, Kelly. Lively Cut said, Trump don't got to do nothing he don't want to do. Well, I'm glad you think like that. I hope he don't do nothing to you or your family, man, because then you'll think different. Darren said, prices down, but prices have gone back up. Yeah, they're going to continue. As long as we're in this tariff situation, you know, how Trump is handling this whole situation, we're going to have issues with the economy with prices going up. Thanks for sharing that. Oh, Dan, welcome. He's from Australia. Welcome, man. Raj of God. Raj, listen, only thing I ask you to do, man, is have some respect, man. Talk with respect. Hey, listen, man, coming on here with this racist stuff, that's what I'm saying. But I move on. Jason Metz said, Jason, ain't no brainwash when you got your eyes open. Don't say that because somebody speak the truth, but I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna block you in a minute unless you can open your mind and get out of that cult that you in. Ain't nothing brainwashed about me for bringing the truth, man. This is the thing, and there's two issues here. You know, my words for Trump is bring that man back home to his family, man. Bring that man, that human being that you think you better than, that you trying to look down to. He was in this country for 14 years, and yeah, he might have came illegally, but the man has been fighting. He's been using a process, and he's under what's called, let me look that up again, withholding without removal. So he was allowed to be here. So bring that man back home, man, and stop running around rounding up people, sending your gang, your ICE gang out to round up people. That ain't right. That ain't what we want. Anybody that don't agree with Trump, he wanna attack them. He wanna hold money from colleges and universities. But guess what? A lot of universities bow down because they need the money. But Harvard said, nah, we ain't gonna do that because anybody that don't agree with him, he want to take money from. Or if you're going to teach black history, we're gonna take money from you. This is not right, man. I know a lot of y'all love Trump, but you gotta admit that this is not right. He's trying to run it like a dictatorship, an oligarchy. This is not right. We're going backwards in America. We heading back to the Jim Crow, them type days, man, segregation days. You want to take rights? This is supposed to be a country of rights, man. This is supposed to be a melting pot. We shouldn't have to bring up race, but we got to bring it up when stuff like this happen. Bring that man back from El Salvador, President Trump. Do the right thing for once in your life, man. Everything ain't about politics. Get your gang out them streets. If them people not committing no crimes, leave them people alone. If them people are not committing no crimes, not bothering nobody, leave them folks alone. But you want to instill fear in American citizens, which is crazy. But yeah, treat us this way. You've been treating blacks this way for I don't know how long, which is sad. You've been mistreating blacks for a long time, man. A long time, Trump. Get it together, and that's why you're losing the tariff war with China, because y'all so focused. It ain't just you, but y'all so focused on mistreating people that you think are beneath y'all, that y'all ain't really been producing and progressing. And that's why China is running circles around America, because of this bigoted, narcissistic, condescending attitude that we got in the White House, man. And it needs to stop. It needs to stop today, but it ain't, because there's too many people that support the nonsense. That's why the racism and the bigotry and the discrimination, it ain't gonna stop, because people gonna, one, act like they don't see it. For number one, they're gonna act, who's, I don't see anything. Until people, good people who say they good, until good people are able to stand up and say, man, I support him, but he wrong on this. Until they're able to do that, stuff gonna stay the same. Stuff is gonna stay the same. And got somebody on this live who said the N-word, calling somebody, but that's him and his people. That's how he think. That's what's in his heart. And it's sad, there's a lot of people that is in their heart, man. Hatred. That's what Trump teach. Hate all people. Hate Salvadorians, black people, Mexicans, women, Cubans. The list goes on and on and on, man. We under an administration that spew out nothing but hate, man. And if you speak against it, they'll say, he's talking hate. He's hateful. You can't be hateful for speaking the truth, man. You can't be hateful. It takes love to speak the truth, man, especially to power. Because right now, power is attacking everybody. Schools, they want to tell you, don't let your students protest, or we're going to hold billions from you. Well, Harvard said, wait a minute. We're not going for that. And much respect to Harvard, man. Much respect to Harvard for standing up, because a lot of universities folded because they do need the money. Man, they doing scientific research, studying cancer, diabetes. They doing some good stuff at these universities, so they do need the money from the government. But Trump using that to promote his hate and take away rights from people. Lock up professors, teachers, even going after students, man. And this is a time they live in, and America should be outraged. America, y'all should be outraged with what's going on in our country, man. We can't sit back as Americans. It doesn't matter to me whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, you're a MAGA, you're a Trumpet. You still got eyes to see, man. Right is right and wrong is wrong, man. Right is right and wrong is wrong. If you don't want it to happen to you or your people, you shouldn't want it to happen to nobody. If you want you and your people to have rights, you should want everybody else to have rights. That man Garcia, who was sent to El Salvador, was over here working construction, man, working hard, trying to earn an honest living. That man has a wife, he got children, but nobody don't care about that, man. We got a president that will break that up. How is she supposed to survive over here without his money that, you know, he was working and all that? You just take that man. That's not right, and I'm not afraid to say it. That's wrong. In every sense of the word, it is wrong, man. And sad that we got a president who looks down on American citizens, man. It's sad. We got a United States president in Trump who look down on his citizens, especially the ones that don't look like him. That ain't right, man. That ain't right. What I'm doing is speaking the truth, man. Ain't no crying, ain't none of that, because I get it from the muscle, man. Been getting it all my life. But what I'm saying is, everything that's going on now with this president, if you as an American citizen is silent right now, that tells me and others a lot about you, man. Y'all all right with this chaos? Step out of the politics for a minute and just be real with yourself, man. Do you want a better America? Or when you wear that hat, were you talking about something else when you say make America great? Because shipping people out and rounding them up, honest people, hardworking people, that's not making America great at all. That is not making America great. Making America great is everybody's equal. Not feeling like you above because You're not above. And people are quick to say, well, you can leave the country. Well, so can you. For some reason, white people think America is theirs. And if you say anything against it or express your feelings, they'll tell you, leave the country. No, but what about you? You can leave the country. This is a melting pot. America is not white folks' country. It's a melting pot of all made up of immigrants, if you care to check it. So my thing here is a shout out Garcia's wife. Continue to, one words to her, man, continue to stay strong under this dictatorship like government that we under. It's a disaster right now. Everybody is under attack. Everybody. If you're not in Trump's circle, if you're not a part of his billionaire buddy system, then you don't matter. He don't care nothing about you. If you're not a part of Trump's buddy system, which is Trump's family and his billionaire buddies, he don't care nothing about you. He don't care nothing about you. And the reason he paused them tariffs, it was hurting his billionaire buddies. That's the only reason he did it. He already knew it was hurting American citizens, but President Trump didn't do anything for that. He didn't care anything about that. Listen, let me say this real quick. If you have not subscribed, you have not done it yet, go and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified anytime I make a video, man. I thank y'all for the continued support. And no fear in my heart, man. I'm going to speak this truth because I know it ain't right. My hope is that President Trump will find it in his heart to bring Garcia back to the United States, man. President Trump, bring that man back home to his family so they continue to live good or however they was living. But they struggling right now without him and his income. Do the right thing, Trump. I know this is going to be really hard for Trump to do. But the United States Supreme Court told you to facilitate that man's return. Stop demonizing people over here trying to do the right thing. President Trump and his administration, stop demonizing human beings. They more than immigrants, man. They human beings. They fathers. They parents. Stop demonizing them. I know you want to take us back to the time of Jim Crow, segregation, when racism was at an all-time high. It seems that you want to take us back to that, but we're not going back, man. And if y'all out there, y'all good Americans, American citizens, y'all should be outraged in this president. And y'all should say to him that we're not going back, man. We are not going back. And we're not going to hate people because they don't look like us. Stop hating people because we got a president that tell y'all to hate people. Come on, man. Stop hating people because President Trump tells y'all or encourages y'all to hate other people. He got y'all hating immigrants. They're illegal. I ain't never in my life had a problem with an immigrant. That's just me. Somebody might did, and there's some of them doing wrong, but it's black people doing wrong. It's white people doing wrong. I know there was white organizations that had a problem with me and my people and attacked us physically. Not me personally, but that's what they did. So I ain't got no problem with no immigrant. None of that. I love people, man. And that's what we missing right now in this country is love, man. Everything's about money. Everything's about money. But this president is just attacking. He's taking money from universities. President Trump is taking money out of universities if they don't stop people from disagreeing with Trump or protesting or anything. And guess what? Harvard University said, nah, Trump is holding $2 billion. He froze $2 billion that was going to go to Harvard and told Harvard these are the conditions. Well, Harvard did not back down. They said, no, we're not taking rights from our students. We're not doing that. You keep your money if that's what it's going to take, but we're not bowing down. But the reality is, a lot of universities had to back down because they do need the money. A lot of universities do need the money. A lot of universities do need the money. But guess what? When you do wrong and you think you got it, you think you don't have to answer to nobody, you will eventually be humbled. Because your pride and all that, what comes after that? A fall. Your pride, Trump's pride, will lead to a fall. That's why he's losing the battle, the war tariff with China. Because you so disrespectful to your own citizens, people that don't look like you, minorities, mistreating immigrants because you think you can get away with it, and got your base rallying it on. Yeah, good job. What y'all telling him is to mistreat human beings. If y'all cheer and rally for Trump doing this to El Salvadorians, to anybody, y'all ultimately telling him mistreat human beings. Just don't mistreat us, but mistreat them. We got to do better, America. We got to do better. If you got racism and hate in your heart, man, deal with that stuff, man. Deal with that stuff. If you was taught to hate people from your house as a child on and now, man, deal with that stuff, man. Deal with that, man. Because this is not making America great. What's going on today is not making America great at all. While America was mistreating its own citizens, China was running circles around us. That's why we have no chance. Not we, he. Trump has no chance of winning this tariff war. So he needs to humble himself. He needs to humble himself because he's going to lose this battle with China. President Trump needs to humble himself because he's losing and he's going to lose this battle with China. That's the real. While America was over here disrespecting and mistreating its own citizens, its minority population, Chinese was producing stuff and running circles around us. That's why Trump doesn't have a chance against China when it comes to these tariff wars. Trump doesn't have a chance. He don't have a shot. Real quick, I want to say, if you have not done it, go and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified anytime I make a video. I thank y'all for the continued support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As I was saying, man, Trump needs to bring Garcia back home to his family, man. Where is the compassion with this administration? This is even after the United States Supreme Court ruled that Trump has to facilitate the return of Garcia from a dangerous El Salvadorian prison. How would you feel if you was in that prison? A dangerous prison. A very dangerous prison, but you didn't commit no crimes. Remember this, y'all. Garcia didn't commit no crimes here in the United States. He didn't commit no crimes in El Salvador. And some of us going to be silent and allow them to send him back. We should be screaming at the rooftop because that's an injustice. It's wrong. That's why I say everybody should have due process. Because if he would have had due process, this would have came out in court before he got sent over. If he would have had due process, this probably would have never happened, because this would have came out before he got illegally shipped over to El Salvadoran prison. So my call to every American, man, stand up, America. Stand up, Americans. Do the right thing. Let your voice be heard, man. It was wrong for President Trump to illegally send Garcia to an El Salvadorian prison. Right is right, man. Let's be on the side of right. Whether you voted for Trump or not, whether you support him or not, Right is right, man. And we need to be speaking our voice to the top of our lungs, expressing that President Trump was wrong in this, and he should do as the United States Supreme Court ruled that he should do, and that's facilitate the return of Garcia. Bring that man back to his wife and his children. That's a human being. And this is my thing, man. As a black man in this country, I understand that anything that they do to anybody in this country, they can do to black people. So at least us, man, we should not sit back silently, because it can happen to us. Maybe not that specifically, but any mistreatment of anybody, they can mistreat us. And remember this for you too, whoever you may be. Any mistreatment, man, in this country that we allow to happen, it can happen to you. Injustice, anywhere. Remember this, man. Injustice anywhere. It's injustice everywhere. Don't sit back silently and quietly approve of that. So, even on my small level, I'm way down here at the bottom of the totem pole. I'm speaking out against it because I know it's wrong. Not the smartest person, but some stuff is common sense. And what President Trump did to that man and to his family is wrong, it's wrong, and it's wrong, man. This is wrong. This is wrong, man. And I just want America to wake up. Everything ain't about politics, but I'm telling you this is wrong. A lot of the things that Trump are doing, they're wrong. And I know some of y'all feel like Trump may make y'all rich. That's some of y'all aspirations. Because he talk a good game, man. He's a scammer. He's good at what he do, as far as running his mouth. But he ain't brought no prices down yet. He ain't give no benefits to no Americans yet. Only thing he has done is spew hate. He continued to spew hate. That's why it's easy for some of y'all to say, I hate black people, whether you say it publicly or privately. I hate Mexicans. To spew hate. And we should not hate nobody. Because me, I love all people. All people. Just don't come around me with your negativity and your nonsense. Though I love all people, I'm not begging to be around nobody. Because I love me, I love my people, man. I'm not begging to be around nobody. I'm not fighting to get in your circle or none of that. None of that. I'm good with me. I'm straight. But I got love for y'all. I even love and appreciate the LGBTQ community. Why do I love them? Because they are human beings. I love human beings, man. Love the least of those around you. But some of us only love those who are the highest around us. And that would be Trump and his administration. Because Trump and his administration does not care about American citizens. They're not doing anything for the sake of American citizens, man. Everything that's done right now is about the billionaires, Trump, his family, and his billionaire buddies. That's what it's about. That's what it's about, man. I'm going to say this, man. I thank y'all for the continued support. Thank you. Subscribe to the channel, man. If you haven't done it, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be notified anytime I make a video. Also, I want to talk about how President Trump is holding funding from these colleges and universities. He holding hundreds of millions of dollars. Why is he holding the money? Because he's trying to tell universities that your students cannot practice free speech. If he against Trump or if they're supporting Palestine, he holding money. But guess what? Big shout out to Harvard University, because Harvard said, even though you holding $2 billion, you freezing our money, we're not going to bow down to you, Trump. We care about our students, which are American citizens. And that's something President Trump has not shown that he cared about is American citizens. He paused the tariffs because his billionaire buddies were losing a lot of money. But at the same time, the regular working people were struggling, and he wasn't going to pause the tariffs. He only paused the tariffs because it affected his billionaire buddies, man. We're under some real serious dark times, man. And with this time right now, I cannot sit back and be silent. I cannot sit back and be silent. This ain't no party thing. This ain't political. But this is just an American citizen. Me, I'm an American citizen who's watching all this going on. And I'm just shaking my head and asking, when is enough going to be enough? When are we going to stop accepting the lies from Donald Trump and his administration? When are we going, not me, because I don't practice the hate. When are those who practice hate going to stop hating just because Trump wants to use you to hate? Because that's what he is. He's full of hate. He supports white supremacy. He's buddy with David Dukes, the leader of the Klan. But that's President Trump. But President Trump, you met your match with China. China is smacking you around like a Raggedy Ann doll. But that's what you get. Because while America was so busy mistreating minorities and doing all this, and people got to march, and from the 60s on up to now, they got to protest, China was producing. China was sitting back and producing, man. And that's why. That's one of the main reasons why China is going to win this tariff war. Trump is going to lose this tariff war. And even with our Vice President, J.D. Vance, with his racism, he going to call the Chinese people peasants. J.D. Vance called the Chinese people peasants. See, that's just some of the stuff they say in secret. He was bold enough on an interview on the news to say it out loud. Because that's how some of them feel. But they gave it to him. They gave it to J.D. Vance. They gave it to them, man. We not... On one of the interviews, the dude was like, okay, yeah, we are peasants. And he defined what peasants meant to him. Hard-working people. Not crooks. Not to set out to get over on your people. Trump go golfing on his course, but yet charge the government $26 million while he golfing on his own golf course. This presidency, sad to inform y'all, it was a money grab. This presidency is a money grab for President Trump and all his bitter billionaire buddies. That's why they all huddled up and they scamming on making money off of your taxes, off of my taxes. That's what this is about. And it's sad. And if you voted for him, you ain't know. You didn't know no better. But some of y'all are starting to see. I said some of y'all. Some of y'all are starting to see. But Trump ain't good for the country, man. I say it again. Bring Garcia back home to his family, man. Y'all admitted that you made a mistake by shipping him out. The United States Supreme Court ruled that y'all got to bring him back to America, but y'all ain't start facilitating nothing because you're not thinking about facilitating nothing. Bring Garcia back home to his family. I'ma humanize Garcia. Garcia was in this country for 14 years. He had worked construction. He got married, and he's now raising 3 children. That's a human being. He's not just no immigrant. Garcia is a human being who should be treated as such. He was in the country, right? People are like, he was illegal, this and that. Okay. He was here legally, though, once he did the process. And it's called withholding without removal. Garcia was here, and they granted him what's called withholding without removal. Withholding without removal, meaning he was not supposed to be shipped anywhere. If y'all just getting in, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can be notified anytime I make a video. Also, surf the channel, man. I got plenty of videos, man. Plenty of videos. But I want to thank y'all for the continued support. But as I was saying, I'm going to humanize this human being. Garcia was a human being, 29 years old. Garcia was 29 years old. He was a human being. He could be my neighbor. He could be your neighbor. Don't just look at him as a, well, here, he's an immigrant. They need to go. Send them out. Come on, man. Where's the compassion? Where is the compassion? And I know we get it. Y'all get it from Trump. Some of y'all already had that mentality, that hatred in your heart. But I ask that you get the hatred out of your heart. Try love, man. Love is more powerful than hate. I know Trump, all he spew out is hate. When it's dealing with anybody who don't look like him, it's about hate. And he teach and encourage y'all to hate other people. I don't hate nobody, man. I don't hate white people. I don't hate black people, Mexican, El Salvadorians, Cubans, Chinese, Japanese. The list goes on and on. Black people, I love people, man. For all those who say we believe in God and all this and go to church and every week or whatever, now's the time to believe. You just can't say you believe in your words, man. You got to believe even if it costs you something. And right now, President Trump is running the country to put fear in people's heart that if you don't agree with him, it will cost you. He cutting funds from universities. If they don't agree with him, that's a dictatorship. He running this like an oligarchy. But big shout out to Harvard University. Harvard said, even though you're holding that $2 billion that we supposed to get, you want to hold it over our heads and try to tell us to take away freedom of speech from our students? Don't let them protest? They said, no, we're not going for that. If it costs us the $2 billion, this is what Harvard told Trump. Harvard University told Trump, even though you're holding that over our head like a carrot, we're not bowing down to you. The reality is, though, a lot of universities had to bow down to Trump because they do need the money. And Trump know they need the money. Even Harvard need the money, but they took a stand. They took a real stand, man. Big shout out to Harvard, man. Trump is cutting funds for historically black colleges and universities. This is the worst president ever. This is the worst president ever. Somebody earlier in the comments said, why do people hate Trump? It ain't that people hate Trump. They hate what he's doing, man. How he trying to destroy democracy, take away rights. They done arrested professors who spoke out against him. So they hate his actions. It ain't like they hate Trump. They don't like his actions. And anybody who open their eyes and really look at what's going on, y'all gotta disagree with these actions, man. You have to, because Trump is not doing right. Anybody who doesn't look like President Trump, he feel like you're beneath him. That's why J.D. Vance was proud to say and call Chinese people peasants. J.D. Vance was proud to do that. because that's the hate and the racism in his heart. That's what he said out loud. Can you imagine what he's saying in private? Can you imagine how they act in private? So my thing is, man, I love all people. I love all people. This includes the members of the LGBTQ community. Why? Because they're human beings, man. Just because they're human beings, I love them. I might not agree with certain things they do, but I love all people. But Trump is, as a president of the United States, got to do better. You mistreating your own people. You want to big boy people in this country. You want to rally up people and lock them up and put fear in people's heart, man. You're attacking professors. You're attacking judges. This ain't no good stuff, man. And all the people and all the rallies I heard, people celebrating MAGA and the Trumpettes, they would celebrate, we won. But guess what? American citizens lost. It ain't no we won. See, MAGA think we won because he won the presidency. But guess what? We put an un-American in the White House. He's un-American. He only thinking about, Trump is only thinking about President Trump, President Trump's family, and his billionaire family, billionaire friends. That's it. That was the only reason, like I continue to say, the only reason Trump paused the tariffs, it was killing his billionaire buddies. That's the reason why he paused it. Not how bad it was hurting American citizens, because he didn't care nothing about that. Trump ain't trying to get no tax break for American citizens, but he got one for his billionaire buddies. I just want people to wake up, man, and stop being brainwashed, stop just following along in that cult, because that's what it is. The MAGA cult, it's a cult, man. And I say that because y'all are not allowed to think for yourselves. And no matter what Trump do, whether he right or wrong, y'all support him. And y'all would justify why we supported him. J.D. Vance should not have called Chinese people peasants, because they're not peasants. They're hard-working people. J.D. Vance should not have called Chinese people peasants, but that's what he think. He feel like he's superior. Anything that don't look like him is beneath him. That's what he think. Same thing with Trump. They feel the same way. That's part of what they mean when they say make America great again. You see who's in his cabinet. They put a black guy over the housing projects. HUD. They got one black guy. He over the projects. They did the same thing with Ben Carson, who's a doctor, a neurosurgeon. They placed Ben Carson. Trump placed Ben Carson over the projects. So all the black people and Latinos or whoever support Trump, open your eyes, man. He don't see you as his equal. He don't see you or your people as an equal. So I felt compelled to come on this live. I do it daily. Listen, if y'all have not done it, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified anytime I make a video. I thank y'all for the continued support. But listen, man, my black people that voted for Trump, my Latinos, I want y'all to understand something clearly. President Trump don't care about black folks, Latino, Chinese, anything other than white. Trump ain't got no love for. And he just using MAGA. He using y'all, but he ain't implementing nothing to help y'all as American citizens. Over 100 executive orders, but not one to help this economy with the prices. But we said we voted for him for the prices. He lied to y'all and said on day one, he was going to fix these prices. Was day 80, something like that. He ain't did nothing with these prices. He not trying to do anything with these prices. His goal was to help his billionaire buddy with these taxes. The tax breaks for his billionaires were going to expire this year. So he had to get back in office so he can fix that. But I just want y'all to wake up, open your eyes, man. Smell the coffee. This man is not right for America. President Trump is not right for America. He has fired federal employees. Trump has fired veterans, which should never happen. But that's this Trump administration, man. A veteran should never have to worry about getting fired, period. No veteran should have to worry about getting fired. And then he want to dismantle the Department of Education. Not good for America. America, we are in some dark times right now. We're in some very dark times. My words to President Trump is bring Garcia back home from prison, in an El Salvador prison. Bring him back home to his family. Bring Garcia. Let me say his whole name. It's Kilmer Abrego Garcia. Let me say his name again. Kilmer Abrego Garcia. Bring that man back home to his family. The United States Supreme Court ruled that you got to facilitate his return. You playing semantics. And yesterday they had the hearing asking, what have you done so far to facilitate his return? And the answer was absolutely nothing. The President Trump's administration has done absolutely nothing to bring that man home. This is a grave injustice. This is a grave injustice to all Americans. This man doesn't have a criminal record in the United States. This 29-year-old man doesn't have a record in El Salvador. But there he sit in an El Salvadorian prison because of this President Trump. Where's the compassion? Where's the love? Where's the making great again? Where's that, man? Do right for once in your life, man. Do the right thing. But guess what? Y'all say y'all believe in God. I had a lot of comments, people say, God is on Trump's side. Okay, that's good. But is Trump on God's side? Because it's about what you do. So you can say, because God is for everybody. And he wants us all to do the right thing, not the wrong thing. The problem comes in when we do the wrong thing. That's when the problem comes in. Listen, man, if you have not done it, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified anytime I make a video. Also, check out my I got a slew of videos. Check out my videos, check out my lives, check it out. But back to you, Trump. President Trump. Bring that man back. Bring Garcia back home to his family. It's Kilmer Abrego Garcia, 29-year-old man who's married. He has a wife and 3 children. Bring him back from that dangerous prison. Bring him back home to his family, man. Bring Garcia back home to his family. Bring Garcia back home to his family. I would hope this is not what you voted for. Those who voted for Trump, the mistreatment of no people. I would hope this is not what you voted for. Those who supported, and in a lot of cases continue to support President Trump, I hope this is not what you voted for. Because guess what? Garcia is a human being. And it's easy for y'all to look at him as he's an immigrant, he's an illegal. He was here. He came like I think they said he was 16 years old. when he did illegally enter, but he went to court, man. He went to court, and they gave him what's called withholding without removal. So Garcia had a right to be here at that point. He's been in this country 14 years, working hard, taking care of his family, his wife, and his 3 children. Garcia was doing what he had to do. Look at Garcia as a human being, President Trump, and get that man out of that country. He should not be in no prison when he didn't do no crimes in the United States, nor did he do crimes. He wasn't convicted of a crime in the United States, nor was he convicted of a crime in El Salvador. Garcia should not be in the prison. But y'all voted for a president who was convicted. President Trump was convicted of 34 felonies. But yet he's walking around free, mistreating people. My thing is, man, if you really want to make America great, treat all of your citizens right. Even those ones who don't look like you, President Trump. Treat all citizens right. Those who was here from another country, if they was granted something, leave them people alone. Garcia was granted what's called withholding without removal. He should not have been sent out. The Supreme Court has agreed with that. They ruled that Trump should facilitate his return to the United States. So guess what? Trump, you need to facilitate. Start facilitating that. Those who just coming, man, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you just joining this live. My thing is talking about President Trump and that he needs to return Garcia back to the United States. President Trump needs to return Garcia back to the United States to be with his wife and children. I was also talking about how Trump has been withholding funds from universities. I mean, hundreds of millions. And a lot of these universities are caving in because they do need the money. And what they telling these universities is, I want y'all to take away freedom of speech and the rights from y'all students from protesting anytime they don't agree with him, or if they protesting for Palestine. That's what this funding is about. But guess what? Harvard University stood up to the plate like a grown man, like a grown human being, and said, no, we're not going to mistreat our students. We got a strict code of conduct, and we're ethical. So, no. And he was holding he is frozen. President Trump has frozen $2 billion of Harvard's money. And they said, nah, they wouldn't agree to the terms that President Trump had. Big shout out to Harvard. Much respect to Harvard University for standing up against this oligarchy type government, this dictatorship under President Trump. It's sad, man. Today is a sad day. At the same time, it's a good day, man. Beautiful day. I'm thankful to be alive. As I always say, any day above ground for me is a win. But when you see all this wickedness going around, when you see all this wickedness going around, you gotta speak on it. At least I know you will feel something in your heart. If you say you got the love of God, because I heard a lot of people talk about God and this and that, but yet you supporting this maniac of a president. God would not support that. Treat all people right. It's real simple. Even the people that don't look like you, people of other races, other nationalities, other lifestyles, including the LGBTQ community, because they're human beings. Treat all people right. Don't treat nobody wrong. And that's what we have in the White House today. We have a group of people that feel like they're superior. Everybody else is beneath them. And then they mistreat people. And they write laws, executive orders, amendments to attack other people. And that's why Vice President J.D. Vance was so comfortable in calling Chinese people peasants, because that's what they feel, man. And this was on Fox News, on national TV. But he was comfortable enough to call the Chinese people peasants. This is sad. It's a sad day in America, but you reap what you sow. Right now, while America is mistreating American citizens, China is running circles around America. That's why we're going to easily lose this tariff war. We don't want that smoke with China. So Trump need to go ahead and humble himself. First of all, bring that man back home to his family. Start there. Bring that American, I'm going to call him American citizen, because he was in the process and he was under what's called withholding without removal, meaning he was not supposed to be deported. He wasn't even deported because the deportation is a process. That group was shipped out. And that's another thing with Trump. He feel like he's above the law. He don't have to answer to nobody. But we all have to answer to somebody, man. Whether you believe it or not, you got to answer to somebody, man. For those just getting in, man, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified. Surf my channel, man. Look at all the my videos and my other lives. But subscribe to the channel, man. But listen, man, I thank y'all for the continued support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope y'all are having a good day, man. And yeah, we're dealing with and we're under uncertain times. But fear not, man. Fear not. Continue to stand strong, man. Don't allow this administration and all that we see going on to allow fear to enter your heart. Don't allow fear to enter your heart, man. Continue to have love in your heart. I'm not telling you to be a fool and be around people that don't want you around them. I don't support that. But I want to thank y'all, man. Anybody got any closing remarks or anything that they want to put on this chat? Anybody got any closing remarks or anything they want to put on this chat? Now's the time to do it. But President Trump, bring Garcia back home to his family, to his wife, and his children. You was wrong when y'all grabbed him up and just shipped him out. Hurry up and put him on a plane, and the judge told y'all not to do it, but you did it anyway because you feel like you're a dictator. You don't have to answer to nobody. But guess what? Everybody got to answer to somebody. Everybody got to answer to somebody. You're not all powerful, but guess what? Because the breath of life that I'm breathing right now that keeps me alive is the same breath of life that President Trump and everybody else got to breathe. It don't matter what your nationality. The breath of life is one language, and we all need that to survive. We all need that to survive, man. But as I said, man, thank y'all again for the continued support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I got to say it one more time. President Trump, send Garcia back over here to his wife and his lovely children. Send Garcia back over here to America with his wife and his children. Garcia is a human being. He's more than an immigrant. Garcia is a human being. Send him back. Shout out to Harvard University for not backing down for Trump, even though Trump was holding $2 billion carrot over their head and wanted them to take rights away from their students. But Harvard stood strong. Thank you, Harvard. We appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Listen, man, I appreciate all y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, though. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can be notified anytime I make a video. Thank y'all, man. I hope y'all found value in the information that I brought forth. I hope y'all found value, man, in the information that I brought forth. Same time tomorrow. I do this Monday through Friday. Make sure you check me out. Until next time, man, y'all be safe. Peace.